because agribusiness is the last business standing. When everything else in the world, when every other business in the world, including technology, when they fail, agriculture will remain. And agribusiness is one sure banker of sustainable wealth building. So today we are going to tackle the topic, becoming agro-millionaire, becoming an agro-millionaire. We look at profitable agriculture business plans. You can start today. You can start today. Now, I will give us some recap of yesterday, but what I want to do first of all is join from another device. So as usual, I'm able to see your comments and respond to you. So I'll take a moment to just do that right now, to log on to another device. And then, so while we do that, please tell me what country and what city that you are joining us from today. Tell me where you are joining us from today. And tell me also what you expect to learn today. Type it. Give us your name, where you are joining from, and what you expect to learn today as we talk about agribusiness millionaires, agro-millionaires. I don't even know if that term exists or whether I just coined it this evening. Have you heard about agro-millionaires before? And then would you like to be an agro-millionaire? You see, it doesn't matter what it is you do, as long as it's something that provides honest value to people, solves problems for people, and then people pay you for providing such incredible value, for them. And I see no better opportunity, better business opportunity in 2025 than agro businesses. And then why get into business if you're not able to help people to solve a big problem in the world? This time, the big problem of food security. Africa's population is exploding and there's not enough food to feed their populations. So you can step in as an entrepreneur in the agro-business industry. You can step in big time. And then in the process of solving that problem and creating value, you also become an agro-millionaire. So that's what we're talking about. So type agro-millionaire in the comment section. All right. So let me see. Ogama, my regular friend, is joining from Libreville, Gabon. How do you say welcome in Gabon? Okay, Mbako, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your surname well. I'm not sure how you do that. Mbako Utlau. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to murder your name. You are joining us from Botswana, from Gaborone in Botswana. Anyambaro Zacchaeus is joining us from Abuja today. Wonderful. Helen Rotimi, good evening. Where are you joining us from? Ebenezer Ayo. Seidu Hussein, our regular. Good evening, and welcome to everyone. Okay, so we are talking about becoming an agro-millionaire. Okay, so profitable agriculture business plans that you can start today. One of the biggest questions people ask in this part of the world is, what business can I invest in? A couple of days ago, we talked extensively about the financial markets, the stock market, the forex market, cryptocurrency, bonds, futures, options, and all those derivatives. We talked about those, but this week we are focusing on businesses. Okay, so growing your wealth through businesses, and the particular business that we are talking about is agribusiness. So, for instance, I myself, I don't only play in the financial markets. It's always important, to diversify. It's very important that you play in the financial market. it's also important, that you play in entrepreneurship or in the labor market so that you can have all these different sources. So you may not only want to be a financial market investor, just investing. Many times people who are very successful in the financial or real estate markets take their funds and invest in real businesses as entrepreneurs. Okay, I need to check my connection. I keep seeing something that looks like my phone is about to get off. So just give me 1 second to see what's going on. Okay, I think we're good to go. Good to go. Okay, so we're talking about becoming an agro-millionaire, profitable agriculture businesses or business plans that you can start. And I asked you as you joined to let me know what you are expecting. What problems do you like me to solve in today's session? Remember, it's a coaching session. It is not a teaching. It is not a lecture. So it is something that I want to be very, very participatory. So I'm going to be asking you questions and I would like you to be typing in the comment section. And then at some point you can request that I bring you on video. If you want to have a conversation, like you have something you really want to talk about and you believe everyone can learn from it, you can request to join me on video and I can bring you on video. Okay. I haven't done that before. I still haven't figured it out, but we can do it. This might be like the first time to do it today. Okay, so if you have a question and or you have some contribution in this conversation, maybe you're an agro-millionaire already yourself. Maybe you're already involved in some profitable agricultural businesses. So you can request to come on video and tell us what you want to tell us. Okay, so now there are massive opportunities in agriculture. And we have established that, one, the exploding populations put a lot of pressure on food security. And countries that can't feed themselves can't even begin to talk about innovation. They can't begin to talk about going to Mars or going to moon when majority of your population is hungry or are hungry. And then you can begin to talk about some of those lofty things when millions of people are going to bed hungry tonight. In Africa, of 1.3 something billion people, at least 300 million people are going to bed hungry tonight. That's not good enough. And we can change that. And as an entrepreneur, you don't go into business just to make money. That is the worst motivation to go into business. I don't know if anybody's surprised to hear what I'm saying. The worst motivation to go into business, to go into entrepreneurship is money, is to make money. And that's why so many people don't last long, because money is not the best motivation to go into business. The highest motivation that drives you into entrepreneurship is to solve a problem, is to solve a big problem. The money usually comes as a byproduct of the problem that you have solved. And you don't go into business, and it's amazing, when I say these things in various audiences, a lot of young people come in and say, oh, no, you go into business for money. But you will make the money if you go into business for money, but after the money, what? But if you go into business because you're solving a major problem that you're very passionate about solving, the money follows, like automatically. And then you will also have the fulfillment because you can see that you're solving problems. And if there's a big problem to solve in the world today, especially in developing countries, it is food problem. And even in developed countries, there's still serious food problem. Because if you've been following what's going on in America, we are told that there's data actually to show that America is the sickest country on earth. Sick. So you find some very shocking statistics like 70% of Americans being Forgive me, I don't know the details, but if you're in the US, from the US watching, you can actually correct, or if somebody can quickly check it online, you can. About 70% of Americans are diabetic or something. They have some heart disease related thing. And if you've been following what's going on, especially since the election of a new president, and then the possible appointment of Robert Kennedy Jr. or so. So you'll be hearing things around Make America Healthy Again, because it looks like the food system in America has been captured, by the, the food industry, the processed food industry, and then the pharmaceuticals. And what people are eating, what Americans are eating, not very healthy. So sometimes you find things that are banned in food in Europe, but in America you find them in their foods. So you eat the same McDonald's in Sweden or in Norway or maybe in the UK, but it's not the same McDonald's in America. So someone said you'll find like 8 ingredients in the McDonald's you find in Europe, whereas in America you probably find like additional 8, 15, 20 ingredients or some data like that. So the business opportunities exist, whether it is in the developing countries or in the developed countries, as we've classified them. So agro business opportunities exist. Then there is also, because of the massive migration of Africans into United States and Europe and then Canada in the past 10 years, there are huge African communities in these countries that still connect or want to connect to the food that they eat back home. So a couple of months ago, my wife and I were in the US, and then we spent time with 2 Nigerian families, one in Houston, one in Greeley in Colorado. And they are Nigerian families. And the food that these people ate, the food we ate in their houses, were the same food that we eat back home in Africa. Why? Because you have African stores over there that sell the African foods. The food you eat in Ghana, you find them in these African stores. The food you eat in Nigeria, in Cameroon, in all these other places, you find them in the African stores. So you see that there are massive opportunities in the agro-value chain all around the world. And I would like you to really start thinking big, and as I'm speaking, to begin to open your mind to these opportunities, for you to get involved in agro businesses as an entrepreneur to solve specific problems. And then in the process of solving problems, you make a lot of money. Okay, so you have great opportunities in terms of food. And then when you come to food, in terms of very healthy food, because in recent times you've been hearing all the talks about GMO and how people are actually very, very concerned in different parts of the world, both in the developed world and then the developing world, because like a group of individuals have almost literally seized the food system of the planet. They control the supply of seeds, and then when they give you seeds, they give you seeds that you can't reuse, that don't multiply. They remove the gene and destroy that gene that makes seed, which is actually why seed is seed. Then the implication of that is that every farming season, farmers always have to go back and buy seeds. You always have to go back to buy the tomato seeds, to buy the maize seeds. But when I was growing up, in the late 60s, in the 70s, nobody bought seed. There was always enough seed. Don't give me this thing about population growth and all that. It's not. There was always enough seed. People had seed, and neighbors would share seed. Okra seed, maize seed, we had them. We had more than enough cassava, cottons. But see, because the food industrial complex have seized and have attempted to seize the agricultural system of the world, because it's massive profit. They have destroyed seeds, and then every farming season, farmers have to go buy seeds before they can plant. And then in many poor communities around Africa, farmers can't find seed. They can't find seed to plant because they are poor. They can't buy the seed. So there are different kinds of problems. And then every time you see problems, like in the agricultural value chain, you see entrepreneurship opportunity. Even what we have shared so far, the background I've given you so far, there's so many business opportunities. There's so many business opportunities, whether you want to come from seed or you want to come from non-GMO food, or you want to come from the angle of organic farming and things like that. There's just so many opportunities. And then I have told us that one of the biggest obstacles that people have is actually a mental block, because people in the urban city, whenever you mention farming, they automatically exclude themselves. Say, I'm living in the urban environment, so I don't have land to farm. That does not exist anymore. That excuse does not exist anymore. So I would like you to look up urban farming, do some research around urban farming, and you will see so many ways people are farming. Even vertical farming, people are farming along high-rise buildings. People are farming on top of their buildings. People are farming along the walls of their homes. People are farming with sacks. They put sand in sacks behind their house, and they are farming, making good profit, growing healthy food without chemicals to feed their families. So don't give that excuse that I live in the urban city and so you are excluded from agro-business. You are not. Okay. Then secondly, the opportunities also come from the fact that the agricultural value chain is extremely versatile. The agricultural business chain, value chain cuts across literally everything, every sector of the economy. And then I gave you some examples which I want to recap. The pharmaceutical industry is a major consumer of agricultural raw materials. So there's hardly any agricultural product today that you produce. If people don't eat it, the pharmaceutical industry will grab it. So they use it to make all kinds of things. So, and if you plant medicinal plants and herbs, it's the same thing. I do know with authority that some Chinese come into our villages and then they cut down, they buy some of our ancestral trees, very ancient trees. There's one they call Aparata in my village, in my area. Some of these Chinese have come, paid the poor farmers, hundreds of thousands of naira, cut down these trees. They cut them down, they ship them down, extraordinarily medicinal. But we don't know what we have. That's also another business opportunity, because what I've tried to do is to replant some of these trees. That they are cutting down. And some of these trees before they start fruiting, they take 15, 20 years in the nature. 15 years. So some of the trees that these guys are cutting and shipping to China, I'm paying the villagers, poor villagers, pittance. Some of these trees have been there for 100 years, 70 years, because they were growing in the 200 years. They were growing in the wild because people don't plant these trees. Is someone getting what I'm saying? Are you feeling the passion? Are you feeling where all this is going? So wherever there's a problem, there is opportunity. And again, it's important that we, as Africans, start thinking ahead. We appear to be too short-term thinking oriented. We seem to think just about now, what we're going to eat, what party we are going to hold, celebrate birthday party, do housewarming. These are the things that we consume, our minds are consumed with. To have a fantastic wedding ceremony, the best wedding ceremony in town, the clothes that they are going to wear, car we will ride. That's too short-term thinking. But we need to start thinking generationally, because this is why poverty is being perpetuated in this continent. These guys coming here, they cut down our trees, our ancestral trees. And as they are cutting it down, people are not planting it back. because we are too short-term focused. We are not thinking about the long-term effect that a generation from now, many of the foods and trees that our ancestors used as food, that we used to, like this apparatus, is a fantastic food. It's anti-cancer, it's anti-inflammatory, it's anti-everything. Many people don't even know. Many people who were born even like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, don't even know these things. There's one called Abarata, there's one called Okobo. If you know this is I'm talking about, if you're from around this area, just talk about, there's one called Ipiri. Extraordinary. Nope, it's not farmed. But these things are extraordinarily medicinal. So even if you're someone in town, do you know that just creating an awareness business and then packaging some of these like Apparata, is used as soup thickener. There are some barks of trees like cashew tree. Cashew tree. Let me give you an assignment when we finish today. Just go online, type health benefits of the bark of cashew tree. It will shock you. It will shock you. We have it around. I have some. I actually have barks, the bark of cashew tree. The health benefits for the heart, for dental, preventing certain dental diseases, for bringing down high blood pressure, for all kinds of things. If you just use it as tea, the bark of cashew tree. Our ancestors, our old mothers, some of them who lived for 120 years, 110 years, these were the things. They didn't know this Western medicine. But what's going on? They are cutting them. They are cutting them. And I'm so powerless, just acting alone. I've been trying to raise awareness. These trees are going. Nobody is planting them. And then Chinese are coming, paying villagers, pichans, cutting down these trees, shipping straight to their own place. And then they make medicine out of it. They make tea out of it and then ship down to you in Africa. And then you buy it for thousands of dollars that you don't have. So we have to start thinking long term. We have to start thinking strategically. Because if you're approaching agro businesses and then you want to be an agro-millionaire, you've got to think strategically. Can you imagine the ideas I have shared with you today? Can you imagine even the ideas I've just shared within the past couple of minutes, the business opportunities, as well as impact opportunities loaded in what I've just shared with you? Nobody's thinking about it. Everybody's doing, let's make money, buy G-Wagon, join all these our odogus on social media, and dance and feel good. But nobody's thinking that our forests, our trees that stabilize our environment, that kept us healthy, are being cut down and they are not being replanted. Nobody's thinking about that. And then you won't see it online. No, you won't see that covered online. Nobody, have you seen that? This is what I'm telling you, by anybody, content maker? No, but you see our people dancing and shaking their buttocks, and that's what's going to give you 50 million views. You just dance, shake your chest, then turn, twerk your buttocks and do that. And then be 100 million views. That's what we are consuming. That's what we are consuming. That's why sometimes I feel that our poverty is deserved. How can you grow wealth? And then how can you grow? Okay, let's say you're a content producer and you're putting out all this filthy, unclean content out there. Okay, let's say you make money. How much money is that you're making, first of all? Then you make money, but then what's going on to your community? What are you doing to the generation? Are you getting what I'm saying? Type yes, If you're getting what I'm saying, say I follow. Just type I follow. Type I follow in the comment section. Okay? Type I follow in the comment section. Okay. So I'm thinking that please, all of you from all these different countries in Africa, that are here today. Botswana is here. Ghana is here. I believe Zambia is here. Kenya is here. Of course, Nigeria is here. If I missed them, Gabon is here. If I missed your own country, please type it in the comment section. I plead with you, dear Africans, let us start. Let's stop waiting for our politicians. Let's stop waiting for our politicians. Let's start with what we have to do what we can where we have. Where we are. As a principle, my mentor, Dr. Liubi, taught me. 1994. He said, the Shamgar principle, that's what he called it. He said, do what you can with what you have where you are. Look around you. Like this thing I'm telling you now, planting these trees that they are cutting and shipping to China. You can do it. You don't need your president Museveni to come talk about it. You don't need you don't need the John Mahama of Ghana. You don't need Ibrahim Traore. But God bless that man. He's doing a lot of things. And then we need to follow his examples. You don't need them. You don't need your politicians, because they're not even interested, to tell you to do such things. You can start. Do what you can, where you are, with what you have. And that's a mindset I want you to bring into the agro business that we are talking about. So if you want to become an agro business millionaire, you have to adopt the mindset I have been trying to encapsulate. So you can see that I have been, for the past 20 minutes or so, I've been focusing first of all on the mindset, because to become agro millionaire, you have to first develop the mindset of an agro millionaire. And the mindset of agro millionaire is the one that thinks long term, is the one that thinks about impact, is the one that thinks about value, is the one that thinks about that is not too short term. It's the one that thinks delayed gratification, is the one that is opposed to consumerism. Okay, it thinks long term, is patient, but the money is sweet, it is a lot, and it is sustainable, and it's money that comes out of the impact that you are creating in the communities. There's so many opportunities to become multi-millionaires in the agro chain, even where you are with your small money. Please, all these excuses we always give, I don't have money, I plead with you. In agro business, it's not like that. And I'm going to show you how. See, my mentor, he's going to be 85 in March. He told me one day, I had a session with him, and very, very successful businessman, made a lot of his money in real estate, and then he was a chartered accountant, one of the very first chartered accountants in Nigeria, made a lot of money in business. So when I left Shell and I lost all our family savings, and I wasn't even starting from zero. I was starting from minus 40 something million naira of those days that I was owing. And so he told me something. There were many ideas, but I didn't have capital. I didn't have money, and I didn't have the so-called sponsor that many people keep looking for. You know what this man told me? He said, Obo, that you don't have money should never be an excuse for not starting a business. Is someone listening to me? Are you listening? Are you listening? Type yes, because what I'm going to drop right now can change somebody's life. The way it changed me the day he told me that. He said, stop all these things. You want to do some business in agriculture. I hear it a lot. I don't have money. I don't have money. My mentor said it should never, lack of capital should never, ever be an excuse for not starting a business. So I said, how? He said, listen, when you have money, if you want to start a business, he said, when you have money, you buy and sell. You buy and sell, because that's typically what happens. Because when you have money, then it means you can afford inventory, you can afford a team, you can afford vehicles, for your logistics, you can afford a factory. So he said, if you have money, you buy and sell. Then he said, if you don't have money, you sell and buy. That changed my life. That changed my life. Since then, there's no way, if you go back to all my posts or to all the work I did, plus all my television programs that I did for 5 years, live TV programs every week, if you listen to them, you will never hear once where I mentioned anything about I don't have capital to do anything I want to do. There are things I want to do right now. I mean, my plans. I have agro-business plans this year. It requires a lot. Right now, I want to buy another truck. I have a truck that I bought from the United States. I went to the US. I selected it myself. I bought it there, for the F-250. Massive. But the challenge I'm having with that truck here is that people here don't understand it. They don't maintaining it. They don't understand it. It's difficult to find mechanics, find people, who can maintain it. So now I need to buy another truck, maybe a Toyota or something that people are that requires money. I need to buy inventory because we want to start making palm oil, our own brand of palm oil, the local way, no machine, nothing. And you're going to be seeing it live because as we make it, everybody around the world will see our traditional processes. No other place in the universe makes oil the way my village people make it. Even the name of the oil, people don't recognize it. Okay, so I want to do that. All that costs money. And today I was just like, how do I raise this money? I was thinking about talking to my bank because the bank manager has been asking me for at least 2-3 years right now to come and take facility. And because of what I've gone through with banks, I ran away. So I have never, since I started business, I've never borrowed money from the bank. Never borrowed money from the bank. Okay. So he said, when you have money, you buy and sell. When you don't have money, you sell and buy. There are many ways you sell and buy if you don't have money. Okay. Like right now, I have a standing order for 1,025 liter gallons of palm oil. So I've already sold. The market is there. I have people who the market is there. So if I tell them tomorrow, lock in at this price, just like you trade your options and you trade your futures. Okay. And I say, okay, now palm oil right now, palm oil is very expensive right now. So by the time we finish producing, palm oil may actually be selling for like 80,000 for 25 liter gallon. I think right now it's selling for about 60 something. Maybe by the time we finish production, cost of production and everything, it would have risen to like 80. But I can tell these guys, okay, you know what? For this your 1,025 liter gallons, I need you to pay for it, or to put a deposit down, or for that 1,000, I need you to pay for it for 60,000. And then we lock it into futures agreement that it does not matter what the prices do. In another 2, 3, 4, 5 months, when this thing is ready, even if the price goes to 100,000, you will still buy it at the same 60. Why am I able to do that? Because I've used his funds. Do you see how it works? I've used his funds to start the business. So lack of funds, lack of capital should never be something to stop you. You just need financial engineering. Sell it first of all, then make it. Sell the thing, then make it. So I know people who go to Alaba international markets. They sell electronics online. You probably know people like that. They sell electronics online. They don't have money to start. They don't have money to import, from China or from Europe. They don't have money for that importation. But they want to go into the electronics business. They want to go into the smartphone business. But they don't have the capital. They don't have $50,000 put somewhere that they can use to make their order. What can they do? They sell and then they buy. What does that mean? They go to the Alaba merchants who bring in these things. They make an arrangement with them. They take the product pictures from their stores and they upload it online. Slam their price. So if the Alaba guy is selling for $500, they arrange to to buy for $500, or they give them even $450 wholesale price with that arrangement. Then they come online and they can sell this for $800, $700. They advertise it there. Then someone orders at $700 what do? They quickly pay the Alabaman his $450. They pick up the phone and then they ship. That is how sell and buy happens. So the guy could have said, oh no, I don't have 50,000 down to start to rent a shop. Why are you renting a store? I don't have 50,000 to rent a store to start buying my inventory. You don't. When you don't have capital, you sell and buy. It's the same thing in the agro business plans that we're talking about tonight. Okay, if you have money, you buy and sell. If you don't have money, you sell and buy. Sell the service, sell the product, then make it, deliver it, fulfill it, sell it first. And that's even a very, very powerful business model. Okay, so now I want to pause. If you've not shared this video yet, and then if you're watching it on YouTube, please share and click the like button. It's important for the algorithm, because if you agree that more people need to hear what you're hearing, then the smallest thing you can do is to share it. So take a moment right now, click on that arrow. Okay, the share arrow. There's this curved arrow that goes to the right at the bottom of your screen. So click it, share it, and then you can type, this is how to become an agro-business millionaire, an agro-millionaire. Okay, listen to this to become an agro-millionaire. So type, listen to this to become an agro-millionaire. And as usual, when you have shared it, please come to the comment section and say shared. Okay, and then while you do that, Njideka, my own Njideka Meros, okay, Njideka is joining us from Onitsha in Anambra State. Fantastic. Njide, it's always a pleasure having you. I love you very much, and I love your zeal and your passion, Njide. You are going to go places. I've told you that before. You will do very, very well. Chika Simeon says, illegal cutting down of trees should be addressed properly. In most Southern African countries, you don't have the right to cut down any tree. If it is in your compound, you have to get permit from the government first. I agree with you. I agree with you, Chika. That's what it should be. Okay, but I think that some of these people are exploiting the poverty in the land, because what they do, they go into the village, pay these people. And there's a particular tree, not very far from where I am right now. I learned that they use that tree to make guns, to make the AK-47. Because the tree is extremely hard. They're cutting it down. People are cutting them down. They just offer people little money. And because the people are in an existential situation, they want to eat food, they just sell it. But the thing is, we are selling our future. That's what our people need to understand. You are solving immediate problem and then creating a bigger one. It's like the Esau and Jacob situation. That's exactly what we are doing in many countries and many parts of Africa. We are selling our birthright for only one meal. Can you imagine? Esau sold his entire destiny for just one meal. He didn't even say, give me a supply of meal for the rest of my life, which still would have been worth less than his destiny. But he did it. And that's what we're doing. We are cutting down our tree. We don't know what we're losing. Just for immediate. And once they cut it, what do? We go to eat food. We buy clothes. Then maybe we buy motorcycle. Or if it's big enough, we buy a car. Ha ha! But we don't know what we have done to the next 20, 30, 50 years. To the next generation. Okay? All right. Let me read a couple of other comments. So I like that comment. I would like you to comment, because like I said, this is why this is a coaching session. It's not a teaching session. I need to read this, and I like when you reflect with me on these issues. Very good. Enoch's Walk says, thank you so much for this. We do well to do secure farmland for farming. Okay, very good. Oh, I have South Sudan here. Deng Alier, thank you for joining us from South Sudan. I love South Sudan. Deng. I'm hoping to, within this year, to take a tour around these areas. I've been to many other parts of Africa, but I really haven't been to South Sudan, and I want to see, go to Burkina Faso and all those places. I just kind of want to show support for what Ibrahim Traore is doing in that amazing country. So good to have South Sudan here. South Sudan, okay. Okay, what else? Okay, I see a few, I believe this is Portuguese. I don't understand Portuguese here. So probably somebody is from Angola here, I don't know. Okay, awesome. Pastor Ferdinand Ndolo says, mindset of an agro-millionaire thinks long-term. He's patient, the money is sweet in the long run. Absolutely. Absolutely correct. Okay, and then thank you all for sharing. If you don't have money, you sell and buy. Deep wisdom is this. Yes, Ferdinand, it is. It's deep wisdom. It was life-changing for me. Okay. Camelina said, would love that palm oil. Yes, just keep following Camelina. What country? What country are you listening from, Camelina? Let me know, okay? Because I think people, there's a lot of interest in that our local palm oil. People from the UK are asking, we have to figure out how to send it to different parts of Africa and also to Europe and to America, to the African food stores in America. Okay, very good. Thank you all for sharing. Okay, so I have a question here. Afi Sevo, please, whenever you ask a question, just tell me where you are, what city or country you are joining from. So it will give me a context to give some example that might be relevant to where you come from. So Afi says, thanks for your teaching, sir. What will be your advice for a 53-year-old starting all over again? My advice is, go for it. I'm 59 myself. I'm going to be 60 later this year. And I'm telling you, I'm just rediscovering life. The way that life has been created is incredible. Many of us do not know what we carry. They do not know the amazing power of the human spirit. And age is not the thing. It is your human spirit, your imagination can carry you to anywhere, you know, what you want to. And then I was looking at a post the other day. I don't remember the specific names, but that guy talked about people who started incredible things late in their lives. Some people started at 47. So he was talking about multi-millionaires who started businesses that changed the world. Some people started at 57. There was a guy who started at 65. There was even somebody who started at 73. So Afi, nothing late. Get done with it. It's just start it. And you see, when you are engaged and you're restarting, it actually keeps you alive. Like me, I'm 60 this year, but the energy I have, I don't know if you can feel my energy. And the things I'm telling you, I'm not talking to you like somebody who is going to die anytime soon. Don't take me wrong. I mean, I can die anytime, but I'm just saying that I still have enough juice, enough ideas, enough juice to run for another 59 years, non-stop. There's so much to do. There's no time to start moaning about how old you are or something. There's no time. Age is not the issue. The thing is, what's been laid in your heart? What's your purpose? You know, and to what degree do you want to engage with it? So if you fail, start again, start all over again. Okay, so now my children have all come out, they've all grown, and they've all started to get married and things like that. So for me and my precious wife, it's like a new life. It's a new life, you know, where we're getting ready to become grandparents, you know, but there's just so much time, an opportunity to do so much. So today I can travel because the children have all grown, gone out of the house, living on their own. So I can travel. I just told you I'm coming to South Sudan this year. I'm going to Burkina Faso, to Niger, I don't know, take a tour to see what is happening in all those places. I can do it now. I'm 60. I can do it. Nothing is stopping me. But it would have been difficult for me to do that when I was 35. When I was 40, the children were still young and needed my attention. Do you understand? So start over patiently. At 53, give yourself 10 years. I'm always giving myself 10 years. Like I have a plan for the next 10 years. When you're planning wealth, you don't plan wealth. You don't plan 1 year. You don't plan 1 year. Don't plan 2 years. You don't plan 3 years. You're planning at least 10 years. Like my mentor also told me again, he said, 25 years is enough time for anyone, anywhere in the world to become financially independent. You see, now the older you get, by the time you're 40 or 50, 10 years is more than enough for anyone, anywhere in the world who is 40 years and above, who is 50 years, who is 60 years. 10 years is enough to change your world and change the world around you, to even become a billionaire, which is my target at 70. Now, having 10-year plans also frees you from unnecessary pressure. So don't want to compete. Don't look at other people who are 53 like you. Your journeys are different. Face forward. I'm not looking at people who are 60. I mean, I'm not comparing myself with anybody. I'm not comparing myself with my classmates in the university or in secondary school. No, I'm not comparing myself with it. I'm a totally different person. My journey is very, very different. So as long as I'm not looking sideways, looking at who is coming behind me, who is bigger than me, who is whatever. No, I run my journey. I love it. Okay. So, great question, Afi. Great question. So, come up with a 10-year plan and work with it very patiently. You know, plan the next 10 years when you're going to be 63. You will amaze yourself what can happen in 10 years. Okay. So now we were talking about the agro-value chain and where you find opportunities for agro-businesses to become millionaire. Do you know that if you focus on just providing raw materials alone for the pharmaceutical industry alone, they need raw materials like medicinal plants, they need raw materials like herbs for essential oils, they need raw materials like starch. I had a client, you know, who produced starch from cassava. He could not produce enough for even one client. The pharmaceutical industry uses starch. I think they use it for a lot of things. If you're a pharmacist here, please tell us. They use starch for a lot of things, you know, food grade starch. I think they probably use as carriers, you know, for certain active ingredients in the capsule you swallow. So the active ingredient, please correct me if you're a pharmacist there or somebody involved in nutraceuticals. But they use starch, this cassava starch, food grade starch. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, that if you just say this year, all you want to do is create starch for pharmaceutical industry, you cannot meet up. In fact, they won't even listen to you because if you can provide a certain minimum, you can become a multi-millionaire just making starch for pharmaceutical industries. And that from cassava. And you don't even have to be the one that makes the cassava. You can buy the cassava from the outgrowers. And then your business is just starch for pharmaceutical use. I dare you. You do that, you study it, you do that, and start that business. You are going to make more money than you know how to spend. Because I've consulted for companies who do that. They can't meet up. They can't meet up within the country. How much more for export? Okay. Then there's a second industry that uptakes agro products are the beverage industry. The same thing. Do you know that there's a gentleman, I heard about a gentleman that makes a cool, way back like 80 million naira of those days, so not today. Because by the time from mango alone. I don't remember who told me that story. And if you're listening to this, please type in the comment if you're the one who told me the story. But the guy said, the guy is from northern Nigeria. And then he was telling this, my friend, he said that you Igbos think you know business and that most of you do real estate, you build houses in on land and all that. Then he said, come, let me show you. Come, let me show you what we do, how to make money off land. See, this guy has hectares of mango, just mango alone. and that every year he makes a kill in the tens of millions. Very likely, because of how everything has shot up, this very likely, from what he told me, that guy is going to make 150 to 200 million from one piece of land where they have mangoes. The beverage industry, you cannot supply enough mangoes. You cannot supply enough pineapples. Can you see that there are no pineapples? When last did you go to buy pineapple? Because the beverage industries are competing with the people, you who want to buy pineapples to eat, in the family. There's not enough. You don't have enough pineapples. You don't have enough guavas. You don't have enough of any of these things. So can you imagine if you say, okay, this year, I just want to, as we are talking about that, for those of you in Eastern Africa, it's the same thing with coffee. For those of you in Cote d'Ivoire, in Ghana, and then in some parts of Nigeria, it's the same thing with cocoa. You cannot supply enough. You cannot supply enough, okay? So that's the beverage industry. The next business area for agro-business, for agro-millionaires, is cosmetics and beauty industry. And the cosmetic and beauty industry, if you are into it, or you have an auntie or a relation who is into shea butter, just confirm what I'm telling you. Shea butter. There are shea butter billionaires in Nigeria. You know this shea butter? Because they use it to make, cream. They use it to make hair. There are palm kernel oil billionaires. I have seen them with my own eyes. And then if they pass by you, you will never recognize them. Because I went to the place that they produce palm kernel oil, PKOs. The palm kernel oil is even far more expensive than the palm oil itself. The palm kernel oil, and is far more expensive than petroleum. And you never produce enough. So these are agro-millionaire business plans and business opportunities that you can consider. Okay, so that next time when we talk about agriculture, don't just think about rice, beans, maize. There's a whole lot going on in the value chain. So that's why I'm exposing us to the value chain. There's also food processing. Okay, you can process grains, dairy, nuts, spices, fruits, especially spices, ginger, turmeric, garlic. Multi-billion-dollar industry across the world. If you have 1,000 metric tons of ginger today and you mention it tomorrow, it's all gone. It's all gone. I'm telling you, it's all gone within 24 hours. And I find that these industries are always asking, if you approach them, say, can you produce enough? Which reminds me of a true story I heard a couple of years ago. I might not tell it exactly the way it is, but you will get the idea. I understand that McDonald's wanted to come to Nigeria. McDonald's. Okay? Because it was a natural market. It's a huge market, these 200 and something million people. They may not buy my course. They may not buy my online course in Nigeria, but they will buy food. You see people who say they can't buy book. They will take their girlfriends to KFC or to fast food and spend 30,000, 50,000 naira, but give them 2,000 naira book. They say, no, it's too much. So McDonald's knew that it was such a big market. But I understand that the reason that they could not come to set up in Nigeria, was because they could not guarantee the supply of chicken. Do you know how much chicken has to be slaughtered and killed every day? They couldn't guarantee the supply. And I think they typically guarantee supply for like 5 years. They have to give you they have to have contracts that you supply a certain quantity. We couldn't find. There's not enough chicken in Nigeria. There's not enough fish. We still import fish. And I think until recently, I don't know whether they have started again. There was a time we were importing chicken. The opportunities are incredible. In food processing, there are also opportunities in textile industry. Okay, agro-millionaire opportunities, business plans in textile industry, cotton, silk, flax, dyes. Okay, that are derived from plants. Even making dyes alone, making dyes from turmeric, making dyes. I remember working with a company somewhere in one of these companies in West Africa. All they do is food grade dyes, and they're making millions of dollars a year. So I'm telling you all this to help you think. You don't need to do everything. If you can just find that one thing. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell you how to analyze opportunities, how to analyze agro-business opportunities and to find them. So you can find which particular one can you focus on. You don't need to do many things. If you decide, okay, you just want to make food dyes from turmeric, and then all you need to do, go to Jos, Kaduna, if you're in Nigeria. I don't know for some of you from South Sudan, whether you plant turmeric. I think your climate is the perfect, for turmeric and things like that. And then you turn the turmeric into, you see the dye that comes from turmeric. You turn it into dye. That's what they use in some of these drinks. So some of them are natural dyes. Some of them are artificial. And then some of the natural ones come from plants like turmeric. That alone can make you multi-millionaire in dollars. Then animal feed is another one. You use corn, you use soybeans, you use cassava, you use byproducts of grain. So one of my clients is in Ibadan. Okay, so and that's what they do. They make animal feeds. They bring in a particular component from, I believe it's Germany and South Africa also. They bring in that. Then they buy grains, the corn from the north. They formulate it, and then they prepare it. People come from all over the country to buy animal feed from them. Okay, that's a massive opportunity, because you see, these people who are starting piggery, starting poultry, starting fish farm, starting livestock farming, they have to depend on you, because many times it's actually difficult to be doing livestock farming, to be doing poultry, and to be compounding your feed at the same time, especially if you're doing it on huge commercial scale. It might be very challenging, but if you've grown big, you can do what we call backward integration and then begin to make your own, compound your own feeds. But for now, there's so many farmers, tens of thousands of farmers looking for feeds, who depend on feeds to feed their animal. That's a massive business opportunity. There's paper and packaging, and then there is also nutraceutical, right? The people who make probiotic cultures, the grains, fortified fruits and vegetables and things like that, okay? And then they create functional beverages, they create energy bars, fortified foods and all that for health benefits. So today we have been looking at becoming an agro-millionaire, and then we've talked about profitable agricultural business plans that you can start today. So I now want to give you the exercise before we close, okay? And it's important that everyone does this exercise. All right. Some Tochuku says some people are now farming black soldier fly larvae for alternative animal feed. Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. I know someone who is very likely in this call, who does something similar. It was from him that I actually learned that the birds love the larva. Birds love larva, and they do very well on it, so and they actually produce it. So that's another big. That's a huge business. That's a huge business. And then some of these agro businesses, you don't even need too much money to start it. Like if you want to farm the firefly, like you're talking about. Okay. What was your aha moment today? Every single person. What are you walking out of this place with? What agro business opportunity strikes you the most? What did you hear today that was an aha moment to you? Everyone, this is required in this coaching session. Type your aha moment. Type your aha moment. Okay. And then while you do that, I will read a few comments that are here. I'll read a few comments. Okay, Afi said, I have just DM'd you for the link, please. Okay, Afi, I forget which particular link you're talking about, but do let me know the link of what you're talking about, okay, in the DM that you sent to me. Godwin asks, please, does any of this need NAFDAC approval to be sold in the market? I started producing low sugar swallow for adults and those with diabetics, and it has been test run, and I'm having demands, but I was told to get NAFDAC approval so I can produce in large scale. So with the NAFDAC approval thing, it's good that you get it. It's good that you plan for it, especially if you want to do large scale. And then if you want to put it on supermarket shelves. But if it's not going on supermarket shelves, and then it's something you're keeping small, you can probably continue to grow that way until you grow big enough to set up a place that NAFDAC can come and inspect and then give you. See, many of us, we are, let's be honest, we are bootstrapping. Is that what they call it? Bootstrapping, I beg your pardon. We are bootstrapping as entrepreneurs. We don't have that kind of facility or money to put down 200 million to set up a factory that NAFDAC will come to. And they're not giving us that kind of money. So, don't kill yourself. Start. Then as you grow, and then you've grown it to such a demand that the profits are coming in, and then you need to scale it, and then you need to put it in supermarket shelves, please do that. Millions of people are selling crayfish every day, packaging and sending to the UK, packaging and sending within whatever, selling palm oil. Nobody's asking you for NAFDAC number, but when you really want to retail it, like we're going to do, brand it, and then have it in supermarket shelves, you definitely will need a NAFDAC number. So I hope that helps you. Okay, let me see if there's any other question or comment here. All right, so let's go to your aha moments. So let me read a couple of aha moments here. Keep typing your aha moments. I need to know what you're walking out of tonight with. Everyone is a requirement. Type your aha moment. Okay. Isaac is their column says pharmaceutical raw materials from agriculture. Okay, that's your aha moment. Obed says wherever there is a problem, there is opportunity. Absolutely. Oliseku Collins says, if you don't have money, sell and buy. If you have money, buy and sell. Fantastic. Adedeji Omoba says, strategy for doing business, even when you don't have money, sell and then buy. Fantastic. Isaac asks, which state has most pharmaceutical industries? I wouldn't know, but it's something you can Google and find out. But top of my head, I would imagine that it might be Ogun State. Okay, because Ogun State is quite friendly to businesses. Pastor Ferdinand Ndolo says, my aha moment is lack of capital is not an excuse to start a business. When you don't have money, sell, then buy. Very good. Kingsley Ndubreze says, selling and buying when there is no capital. Absolutely. Godwin says, start is a big business. Absolutely. It is. Saadu Umar says, set up a mind and start at any age. Very, very true. Very, very true. You can start at any age. Saidu. Olorun Shola Oluwaseun says, this is so packed. Yes, this is so much value packed. When you have capital, you buy and sell. But when you do not have capital, you sell and buy. This is going to be a game changer for me in running my business this year. Fantastic. I'm happy to hear that. Afi Sever says, shea butter production for the cosmetics industry. My aha moment is 10 years plan. Very good. The link to your upcoming program, please. Okay, very good. That link, there's actually a comment. One of the comments in the comment section, and I'm going to put it there right now again on how to enroll. I plead with you, do not miss that program. It gives you a bit more access to me. Don't miss that program. Okay. Helen Rotimi says, don't ever say you don't have money to start a business. Sell to start. Fantastic. Fausat, where have you been? Fausat, my sister, young friend. So if you don't have money, sell and buy. Very good. Perry says the mango tree planting. Absolutely. Mango is money spinner. Mango is gold. And then mango seems to be universally the most loved fruit. Does any other person here like mango? I like mango as well. Sometimes I'm not kidding you. I sit down and finish 20 mangoes, and that's my food for the day. I can't wait for the mango season coming up. All right. Talk about lack of capital should not stop you from doing business. Okay. Nemesis Paul says age is, I think you probably want to say age is not an issue. Age is not an obstacle. Some Tochiko talked about cashew back benefits. Yes, absolutely. When you type it, you'll be amazed how many things cashew back heals and does for your body. So I take it, I sip it, put it in hot water, and then make tea out of it. I'm also making some commercially, but it's very, very little quantity of cashew back tea. That's what our old mothers, grandmothers and big people in the village, used to keep healthy for 120 years. All right. Ebele Wanko says, I can start small by planting commercial cash crops within my environment. Fantastic. That's your aha moment. Victoria says, supplying palm kernel oil to the cosmetic industry. Fantastic. And then again, Victoria, like we said, you may not have the money because to start a palm kernel oil mill, for instance, I was at a Chinese company in Lagos, somewhere in Oregu, in Ikeja, who make the machines. To start a palm kernel oil mill using their machines will probably take you anywhere between $150,000 to $200,000. So you might not have that kind of money to start, but you can actually arrange with the people who produce to sell. You find buyers, for it. Okay. Age is never a barrier, Chika says. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Nama Ugochukwu says, I have a plan of cultivating cassava and would be entering into a partnership with interested investor. I did it last year and the ROI was good. We did 5 hectares in 2024, but this year we are looking at 50 hectares. We have land already in Nasarawa. Listen, this is the sort of things, this is music to my ear. This is the sort of thing I want to go to bed with. I want to sleep just being grateful for. I like people who are thinking, who are talking like this, who are not waiting for the government to solve problems for them, because your government is not interested. They are not. Don't wait for them. Okay? I like it. You did 5 hectares last year. You're doing 50 hectares this year. Bravo. That's fantastic. I'm rooting for you. This is why I'm holding this program to create more people like this, who can think big, who can face obstacles and get their businesses done no matter what it is. And on that note, I want to tell you about the Financial Fitness Challenge, which is coming up 18th to 21st February. This is cohort number 4. We have run it 4 times. And usually it's a distillation of people, who think in a certain way, because not everybody sees value in committing 100,000 naira for their growth, for them for help to move their financial future forward. Not everybody understands that. Therefore, the people who usually come in, there is a small group, smaller than this, and then because of it, you have attention, to me, and then you get so many bonuses from the start. And we spend that time. It's virtual. People typically join from different parts of the world. From the last one, second to the last one, we had people from Sweden. We had someone from Australia. We had someone from Canada. We had people from the US. And of course, people from different parts of Africa. We also had somebody from the Gambia. So, register today. Okay. I have put the how to enroll in the comment section, but you can DM me privately also as well to give you the bank account for payment. And then you will receive further instructions what to do. Don't wait for February. And then we have early bird fee going on right now. That early bird will end, I believe it's in 21st of January. Now, instead of 120K or $120, you're paying 100 for early bird to spend that time with me. And I can imagine, look at the things you're getting for free. So can you imagine what it would be like to spend 4 days every single evening on Zoom with me, working on your customized financial future, investing, doing business, planning your finances, planning your strategies, to earn multiple streams of income. Like I've been encouraging you to have at least 2 income streams, at least 2. One strictly for taking care of your living expenses, and then the second one strictly for investing. Nothing touches it. You use it to invest in the financial market. You use it to invest in your business. So during the Financial Fitness Challenge, we usually have the opportunity to break these things down and then to give you every day there's a worksheet that you will use to implement. So the Financial Fitness Challenge is not a theory thing. That's actually where you come to implement, to take action. Because it's not about packing information in your head. It's about putting that information to work for your financial growth, for yours and then for your family. And with that thought, I'm going to say, keep showing up. Keep showing up. Because you have no idea what's coming your way next. And I'll see you exactly the same time tomorrow, where we continue the conversations around helping you grow wealthy and keeping it. God bless.